Stitching on the machine is done using the inside edge of the presser foot as a guide.
Hello humans, I am the master of snake style, Ophidian, and I am a luchador.
Ophidian straight to the top rope, into the case, the door, flips him through, into the face buster. Cover that man!
When I started making my own mask about 4 years ago, it was difficult to find resources to help guide me in the process. So, I decided to become one. And who better to teach you how to make masks than a snake who makes and performs in them for a living. All the techniques you're about to see were self-taught under the guidance of my partner in crime and closet champion, the master of make style techniques. These techniques are the way we choose to make, but are definitely not the only way that you can make a mask or the applique for a mask. If you are looking to start your own collection of mask patterns, you can find some for sale over on our website, closetchampion.com/merch. Today, I'm going to be demonstrating how we make detailed vinyl applique for our masks. And I'm going to do so by showing you how we make the Ouroboros eyes on my masks. So grab your scissors and your spray glue. It's time to show you how I get masked in public. Oh yes.
In this video, I will be using patterns, scissors, straight pins, spray adhesive, dry type silicone spray, Fabri-Tac or Magnatac fabric glue, upholstery vinyl, and chrome leatherette in assorted colors, a finished mask base, a foam head, and an X-Acto knife, which I forgot to include here. After years of trial and error, my wife Kate developed this process of working with detailed applique patterns. Your first step is to take whatever your design is and make multiple copies. We did this by hand here, but you can also use a computer.
Okay, so what we really need here is for you to invert your design so it's backwards, and to also make a few extra copies. One copy will be used as the template to glue the pieces onto, while the other copies will be used to cut apart to make our actual patterns. Our pattern for the Ouroboros eyes includes 5 actual pattern pieces. We recommend reinforcing these pieces. It makes it so you can use them again at a later date. Paper, packing tape, or even cardstock works great for that. Here at Closet Champion, we use manila folders.
Here I am, lightly spraying my reinforced pattern pieces with spray adhesive. Then I cut out each piece of applique from upholstery vinyl or chrome leatherette. I lightly spray the template with adhesive as well, and line up the cut pieces face down according to the design. This makes sure all of our pieces are the appropriate distance away from one another and keeps the design looking as even and clean as possible. After the pieces are all laid out on the sticky template, we coat it liberally with spray adhesive and lay the template face down on our project, treating the applique like a sticker. We then peel away the template, leaving the cut pieces adhered to the vinyl base. I then wipe down the applique gently with rubbing alcohol to get rid of some of the excess glue, and I'm careful not to jostle the pieces.
We haven't discussed this yet, but it is extremely important to be aware of your stitch length. When sewing our mask bases, we tend to use a 2.6 to 3mm stitch length. This would be appropriate for larger pieces of vinyl applique, but would not be appropriate for tiny pieces like this. For these more intricate designs, you'll want a shorter stitch length. However, making your stitch length too short could also be a problem. If the needle pokes too many holes too close together on the vinyl, you'll mess with the integrity of the fabric. You could accidentally create a perforated edge in your vinyl, and it'll come apart a lot easier over time. We find that anywhere between 2 to 2.4mm is appropriate for designs like this.
Once I've stuck my applique to its base, I coat it with silicone spray and get to sewing down all the little pieces, trying to minimize the amount of times I change thread by sewing all the pieces of a certain color at the same time, and then changing threads after each color is complete. This minimizes thread waste. Also, make sure to backstitch at the beginning and ends of each seam, and sometimes in the corners as well. To get crisp corners, make sure your needle is in the down position before you rotate the project to continue your seams. After all my pieces are sewn down to their base, it's time to cut it out. For this applique, I'm leaving a thin border around the outside, always trying to use the full blade of the scissors for each cut and not make a lot of little snips. Once I've finished my first attempt at the border, I go in and fix anywhere I may have made it a little too thick. Be careful not to fix too many times, you'll end up whittling away the entire border. After I'm satisfied with my border, I trim away the inside of the design as close as possible to the pieces I sewed down earlier. Once my applique base is fully cut, it's time for me to glue it down to the mask base, which I've put on our foam head, Jerome the Foam Johnson, to aid with placement. You can find a video on how to make your own mask base here on the Closet Champion YouTube channel. First, I line the piece up with where I know my eyes are on the mask and pin it in place. Once I'm satisfied with the placement, I put a thin layer of Fabri-Tac on the back of one side of the applique. Then lay it down on the base, pinning it to the foam head as needed. I do the same with the other side. When pinning, I try to place pins inside the holes made by the stitches. After about 25 minutes, the applique is dry and ready to be sewn down. First, I spray the applique with silicone spray to make sure the project goes through the machine smoothly. And then I sew it down, making sure to keep my stitches about 1/8 of an inch away from the applique's edge, and backstitching at the beginning and the end of each seam. Once the applique is done, I clip the threads and cut out the eye holes. The Ouroboros is complete.
So, we've done it. We've made the symbol of rebirth, the Ouroboros. If you've got questions you'd like to ask about the mask that you're currently making, I've got answers for you over on my Patreon at patreon.com/closetchampion. You can join for as little as $2 a month and ask whatever you'd like about mask making, or just making in general. We make a lot of different things, not just masks, like this dope guitar strap. Be sure to follow me across all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, my other YouTube channel, @Ophidian Cobra. And if this video or any of the other videos I've made have been helpful in your mask making process, let me know in the comments below. Let me know with a like. Let me know by sharing this with your friends and subscribing to the channel. Thank you, humans, and goodbye. Like this dope guitar strap.
Fashion.